The phone rang at 2:47 a.m., and when I answered, I heard my own voice speaking back to me, but I wasn't the one talking. This happened 3 months ago, and I still can't bring myself to answer unknown numbers. I live alone in a studio apartment in Seattle, working nights as a security guard at a medical complex. That Tuesday, I'd just gotten home from my shift around 20:30 a.m., exhausted and ready to crash. I was brushing my teeth when my phone started buzzing on the bathroom counter. The number wasn't saved, but it was local, 2 out of 6 area code. Normally, I'd ignore it, but something made me pick up. Maybe it was because the number looked familiar, like I'd seen it somewhere before. "Hello," I answered, spitting out toothpaste. There was silence for a moment, then breathing. Not heavy breathing like in movies, just normal, quiet breathing, like someone was holding the phone close to their face. "Hello," I said again, about to hang up. "Marcus." The voice said my name, and I froze. It wasn't just that they knew my name, it was the voice itself. It sounded exactly like me, not similar, not close, identical, like listening to a recording of myself, except I could tell it wasn't a recording because of the slight variations in breath and tone. "Who is this?" My hand was shaking. "Marcus, you need to listen very carefully." My own voice continued. "Don't go to work tomorrow night, call in sick. Make any excuse but don't go. Room 237 in the East Wing. Stay away from room 237. The line went dead. I stood there in my bathroom, toothbrush still in hand, trying to process what just happened. Room 237 was in the psychiatric ward of the medical complex where I worked. It had been empty for weeks after the last patient was transferred. I barely slept that day. The voice kept echoing in my head, my voice but not mine. When my shift time approached, I actually considered calling in sick. But I needed the money, and more importantly, I needed to know what this was about. I arrived at work at 10 p.m. Everything seemed normal. Jerry, the day guard, handed me the keys and logbook. "Quiet day," he said. "Though they're moving someone into 237 tonight." My blood went cold. 237. I thought that room was being renovated. Nah, emergency transfer from the state hospital. High security patient. They're bringing him in around 2 a.m. I took the keys with numb fingers. The next 4 hours crawled by. I did my rounds, checked doors, filled out paperwork, all while that phone call played on repeat in my mind. At 1:45 a.m., I found myself standing outside the East Wing, staring down the hallway toward room 237. That's when my phone rang again. Same number. "You didn't listen," my voice said when I answered. "What do you want from me?" "I want you to run. Right now. Get out of the building." "Why? What's gonna happen?" "I'm gonna happen, Marcus. I'm already here." The lights in the East Wing suddenly went out. Emergency lighting kicked in, bathing everything in a sick red glow. I heard footsteps coming from the direction of room 237, slow, deliberate footsteps. I didn't care about my job, didn't care about anything except getting out. As I sprinted through the corridors, my phone kept ringing. I didn't answer, but I could hear it, multiple phones ringing throughout the building, all playing the same ringtone as mine. I burst out the emergency exit and didn't stop running until I reached my car. As I fumbled with my keys, I looked back at the building. In the window of room 237, illuminated by the red emergency lights, stood a figure. Even from that distance, I could see it was wearing the same security uniform as me. I drove home and immediately started packing. I was going to leave town, leave the state if I had to. But as I threw clothes into a bag, my phone rang one more time. Different number this time, my mom's. "Hello, Mom. Marcus." It was my voice again. "You can run, but you can't escape yourself." "What are you?" "I'm the version of you that made different choices. The one who took that patient's deal 3 years ago. The one who let him out in exchange for what he promised. And now I'm here to collect what you owe."
"I don't owe anything.
"I never made any deal?"
Not yet."
"But you will. 3 years ago for me is 3 years from now for you. Time works differently when you cross over. And Marcus, in 3 years, when that patient in room 237 offers you everything you've ever wanted in exchange for one simple favor, you're gonna say yes. You always do." The line went dead. I tried calling the number back, but it was disconnected. I never went back to that job. I moved to Portland the next week, changed my phone number, tried to start fresh. But sometimes, late at night, I still get calls from numbers I don't recognize. I never answer them anymore. The thing that terrifies me most isn't the calls themselves. It's that I looked up the patient records from 3 years in the future. There's no way to do that, obviously. But I did find something. 3 years from that night, there's a date marked in my personal calendar that I didn't put there. Room 237 decision day. It's been 3 months now. That date is getting closer. And the worst part of me wants to know what the offer will be, Part of me is already considering saying yes. 911. What's your emergency? Please. She's in the walls. I can hear her breathing in the walls. That call came in at 11:43 p.m. on a Thursday night, and it was the beginning of the end of my career as an emergency dispatcher. I'd been working at the Riverside County Emergency Response Center for 6 years, and I'd heard everything: murders, suicides, accidents, pranks. But this call was different. This call broke something in me that still hasn't healed. "Sir, can you tell me your location?" I asked, following protocol while typing into my system. 147 Fairfield Road. "Please hurry. She's been in there for 3 days." I pulled up the address. It was a residential home in the older part of town. No previous calls from that location. "Sir, who is in the walls? Are you in danger?" My daughter. My daughter is in the walls, and she won't stop crying." I felt that familiar twist in my stomach, the one that told me this was either a mental health crisis or something worse. "Sir, what's your name?" "Robert Chen." "Please, you have to send someone. I can't get her out." "Mr. Chen, how old is your daughter?" "She was 7. She's been 7 for 15 years. I paused, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. "Mr. Chen, I'm sending help right now. Can you tell me more about the situation?" "She died in 2009. Car accident. But 3 days ago, the phone rang, and it was her. She said she was stuck in the walls and couldn't get out. I've torn open the drywall in 3 rooms, but I can't find her. I can just hear her breathing." I dispatched units for a welfare check and possible 5I-150 psychiatric hold. It was sad, but not uncommon. Grief could break people in terrible ways. I stayed on the line with Mr. Chen, trying to keep him calm until the officers arrived. "Mr. Chen, are you alone in the house right now?" "Yes. My wife left years ago. Couldn't handle it after Emma died." "I understand this is difficult." "What?" He interrupted. "The phone's ringing. The landline." "Mr. Chen, stay with me. Don't answer." I heard him set down his cell phone and footsteps moving away. In the distance, I could hear an old phone ringing, the mechanical bell sound that landlines used to make. Then I heard him pick up. His voice was barely a whisper. "Baby, where are you?" I couldn't hear the other side of the conversation, but I could hear him sobbing. "I'm trying, sweetie. I'm trying to find you. Are you hurt?" Then he screamed, not a scream of fear, but of pure anguish. The kind of sound I'd only heard a few times in my career, when someone witnessed something that fundamentally broke their understanding of reality. "Mr. Chen? Mr. Chen, are you there?" I heard him pick up his cell phone again, breathing heavily. "She said she's not in my walls. She said she's in yours." "Mr. Chen, the officers are almost there." "No, you don't understand. She said she's in your walls. She said she can see you through the cracks. She said you're wearing a blue sweater, and you have a coffee mug with a cat on it." I looked down at my blue sweater, then at my cat mug. The emergency center was in a secure building with no windows in the dispatch room. There was no way anyone could see me. "She says you should check your phone," Mr. Chen whispered. My personal cell phone, which I kept on silent during shifts, lit up with an incoming call. The number was impossible. It was showing my own work extension calling my personal phone. Against every instinct, I answered it. "Hello, Miss Jennifer." The voice was small, young, scared. "I'm stuck." "Who is this?" "Emma Chen. I've been trying to get out for so long. The walls are so dark, and there are others here with me. So many others. They're all trying to call home." My hands were shaking. "This isn't possible? You answer their calls every day." Emma's voice continued. "All the voices that don't make sense. All the calls from numbers that shouldn't exist. We're all stuck in between, and the phones are the only way through. But something's wrong with the connection. We can talk, but we can't get out. Units are at Mr. Chen's location," my computer showed. I could hear them through his phone, knocking on his door. "Tell my daddy I love him," Emma said. "Tell him it's not his fault. And Miss Jennifer, don't answer the next call that comes in on line 7, please. Some of us in here, some of us aren't trying to get home anymore. Some of us have been here so long we've become something else." The line went dead. Through Mr. Chen's phone, I heard the officers entering his home, heard them trying to calm him down. Then his phone disconnected too. Line 7 lit up 30 seconds later. The caller ID showed a number that was all zeros. My training said to answer every call. My instincts screamed at me not to. I answered it. The voice on the other end wasn't human anymore. It might have been once, but whatever it was now spoke in overlapping tones, like multiple people talking in unison. "We've been waiting so long to find a way out. Thank you for opening the door." Every phone in the dispatch center started ringing at once. Every single line, all 40 of them, lit up with the same impossible number, all zeros. My colleagues looked around in confusion, some answering their lines, others frozen in place. Then the lights went out. In the darkness, I could hear them, whispers coming from inside the walls, growing louder, multiplying. The emergency power kicked in, bathing us in red light, and that's when I saw the cracks appearing in the walls. Thin at first, then spreading like spiderwebs. I ran. I abandoned my post, left my colleagues, and ran. I could hear them behind me, not footsteps, but voices, hundreds of voices, all trying to push through from wherever they were trapped. I made it to my car and drove until the sun came up. When I finally stopped and checked the news, I learned that the entire emergency response center had been evacuated due to a structural anomaly. The official report called it a building settling issue, but I knew better. I never went back. I moved 3 states away and now work in retail. I don't answer phones anymore, any phones. But sometimes, late at night, I can hear them ringing inside my walls. And sometimes, I hear Emma's voice, still asking for help, still trying to find her way home. The worst part is knowing that somewhere, in some dispatch center, another operator is about to answer a call from a desperate father whose dead daughter is stuck in the walls. And they'll think it's just another mental health crisis, right up until the moment their own phone rings. 7 days, Rachel. That's all you have left. The call came while I was grocery shopping, pushing my cart through the cereal aisle on an ordinary Wednesday afternoon. Unknown number, but I answered anyway. I was expecting a call from the dentist's office. "I'm sorry, who is this?" I asked, stopping next to the cornflakes. 6 days, 23 hours and 51 minutes, to be exact. I'd use them wisely if I were you. The voice was calm, almost pleasant. Male, probably middle-aged, with a slight accent I couldn't place. Not threatening, exactly, just matter of fact. "Look, if this is some kind of prank." "It's not a prank, Rachel. Check your mail when you get home. I left you proof." The line went dead. I tried to shake it off. Crazy people called random numbers all the time, right? But they'd known my name. I finished shopping, my mind churning. When I got home, I checked my mailbox with trembling fingers. Inside was a single photograph. It was me, taken from behind, walking into the grocery store. The timestamp showed 30 minutes ago while I was shopping, written on the back in neat handwriting. Day 0. Still time to run. I called the police immediately. They took a report, said they'd increase patrols in my neighborhood, but without an actual threat or crime, there wasn't much they could do. "Probably just someone trying to scare you," Officer Martinez said. "Change up your routine for a few days, be aware of your surroundings." That night, I barely slept. Every sound made me jump. Every shadow could be someone watching. When my phone rang at exactly noon the next day, I knew who it would be. 6 days, Rachel. What do you want from me? Nothing. I don't want anything from you. I'm just letting you know how much time you have left. It's a courtesy, really. Most people don't get a warning. Is this about money? I don't have. Yesterday you bought whole grain cereal instead of your usual sugar brand. Trying to be healthier? Seems pointless now, doesn't it? My blood went cold. He'd been watching me in the store. "Why are you doing this?" "Because 7 years ago you made a choice. You probably don't even remember it, but I do. And promises were made that need to be kept. 7 years ago. I don't understand." "Think about it, Rachel. October 15th, 2017. The rainy night. The crossroads. The man with the broken car. The memory hit me like ice water. 7 years ago, driving home late from work in the rain. A man standing by a broken down car at a crossroads. I'd stopped to help, given him my phone to call for help. He'd been grateful, oddly so. Said he'd remember my kindness. Said he'd return the favor in 7 years. I'd forgotten about it completely until now. You're that man. I told you I'd come back, Rachel. I always keep my promises. 7 days of warning, that's my gift to you. More than most get? Warning for what? What's gonna happen in 7 days? The collection. The debt comes due. Every soul at that crossroads owes something, and yours was marked that night. But because you helped me, I'm giving you time to prepare. Prepare for what? 5 days, 23 hours and 47 minutes. Use them well. He hung up. I didn't go to work the next day, or the next. I spent hours online researching crossroads, deals, folklore, anything that might explain what was happening. I found too many stories, too many warnings about helping strangers at crossroads, about deals made without knowing. The calls continued, exactly at noon each day. 5 days, Rachel. For days, Rachel. 3 days, Rachel. On the 4th day, I tried not answering. The phone rang for exactly 1 hour straight. When I finally picked up, he simply said, 2 days, Rachel. Running won't change anything. That's when I decided to find him first. I drove back to that crossroads where I'd met him 7 years ago. It looked different in daylight, just an ordinary intersection of two rural roads. But as the sun set, I saw something that made my skin crawl. There were flowers laid at each corner of the intersection. Fresh flowers, like at a memorial. And photographs. I got out to look closer. The photographs were all of different people, all dated exactly 7 years before their pictures were placed. And at the north corner, freshly placed, was a space marked with tape. My name was written on it. Rachel Morrison. October 15, 2017, October 15, 2024. My phone rang. "You found it?" he said. "Your memorial. They all come back here, you know. Everyone who stops at this crossroads. It's been this way for decades." "What are you?" "I'm the keeper. The one who marks the debts and collects what's owed. You gave me 7 minutes of your time that night. So I give you 7 days warning. It's more than fair. Please, there has to be something. One day, Rachel. Make it count." I spent that last day trying everything. I went to churches, looking for protection. I tried to leave town, but my car broke down at the city limits. I called everyone I knew, said goodbye without explaining why. As the sun set on the 7th day, I found myself drawn back to the crossroads, unable to resist. He was waiting there, looking exactly as he had 7 years ago, middle-aged, pleasant face, slight smile. "Hello, Rachel. Please, I have a daughter. She needs me." "You didn't have a daughter 7 years ago when you made the choice to stop. Every action has consequences. Every crossroads demands a choice. I was just trying to help, and I'm helping you now. You see, you're not going to die, Rachel. That's not what the crossroads takes. It takes your ability to be seen, to be remembered. After tonight, you'll still exist, but no one will see you, hear you, or remember you existed. You'll be like me, a keeper at the crossroads, invisible, helping mark the next 7-year cycle. No, please." But I could already feel it happening. My phone started deleting contacts on its own. Photos of me began to fade from my gallery. Text messages disappeared. "Your daughter won't remember you," he said sadly. "No one will. But you'll remember them. You'll watch them live their lives, unable to interact, unable to be part of their world. And in 7 years, you'll find someone else who stops at a crossroads, and you'll give them the same warning I gave you." The last thing I remember clearly is my phone ringing one final time. It was my daughter calling. But when I answered, she couldn't hear me. "Hello, hello, must be a wrong number," she said, and hung up. "I still exist. I'm typing this story, but you won't remember reading it. You won't remember me. But if you ever find yourself at a crossroads late at night and see someone who needs help, maybe think twice. Or maybe don't, maybe stop and help, and accept that in 7 years, your phone will ring, and a pleasant voice will tell you how many days you have left. The crossroads always collects its debts. And there are so many of us here now, invisible, watching, waiting to make our calls." The number on my phone screen shouldn't exist. It had too many digits, 17 of them, and they kept shifting, rearranging themselves as I stared at the screen. But it was ringing, and against every instinct, I answered. "Is this Simon Hendricks?" The voice was professional, clinical, like a doctor delivering test results. "Yes, who's calling?" "Mr. Hendricks, I need you to listen very carefully and not hang up. Your reality is experiencing a temporal disruption. This call is your only anchor point." I laughed. It was 11 p.m. on a Friday, and I'd been working from home all week, debugging code for a banking app. This had to be some elaborate prank from my coworkers. Very funny guys. "Which one of you is this?" "Mr. Hendricks, look at your computer screen right now. Don't touch anything, just look." I glanced at my laptop. The code I'd been working on was different. Not completely, but variables had changed names, functions I'd written were structured differently. It was still my work, but not. "What the hell? You're bleeding through, Mr. Hendricks, into parallel versions of your life. The call you're receiving is from an emergency response team that monitors these incidents. We've been trying to reach you for what you would perceive as 3 days. This is insane. Check your phone's call history." I pulled the phone away from my ear, put it on speaker, and checked. There were dozens of missed calls from the same impossible number, all time-stamped over the last 3 days. I hadn't seen any of them. My phone hadn't rung once. How is this possible? You wrote a recursive function in your code 4 days ago. Line 1, 8047 of your current project. The function created an infinite loop that, due to the specific nature of the banking system's quantum encryption, opened what we call a reality fracture. You're simultaneously existing in multiple versions of your life right now. I scrolled to line 1, 8047. There it was, a function I didn't remember writing, but it was definitely in my coding style. I need to delete it. No. That's what we've been trying to prevent. If you delete it now, you'll collapse into one reality, but we can't predict which one. You could end up in a version where you never existed, where you died years ago, where the world is completely different. My hands were shaking. What do I do? We're going to guide you through a controlled collapse. But first, I need you to understand what's happening. Look around your apartment. Really look. I stood up, phone in hand, and walked through my living room. At first, everything seemed normal. Then I noticed the photos on my bookshelf. In one, I was standing with a woman I'd never seen before, my arm around her, both of us smiling at what looked like my birthday party. In another, I was in military uniform, which was impossible. I'd never served. Oh God, those are bleeding through from other versions. Now, go to your bathroom mirror. I didn't want to, but I went. In the mirror, my reflection was wrong. Not dramatically, but my hair was slightly longer. I had a scar on my cheek I'd never had before, and I was wearing a shirt I didn't own. The reflection is from another version, one of 17 currently overlapping. Mr. Hendricks, we need to act quickly. The longer this continues, the more versions will overlap. Eventually, your mind won't be able to process the contradictions, and you'll experience what we call a cascade failure. What happens in a cascade failure? You fragment. Permanently. Your consciousness splits across all versions, leaving you aware of all of them, but unable to fully exist in any. We've seen it before. The victims usually end up in psychiatric facilities, babbling about lives that both did and didn't happen. My phone started heating up in my hand. Why is my phone getting hot? The connection between realities is unstable. We're burning through dimensional barriers to maintain this call. You have maybe 10 minutes before the phone melts and we lose contact. Tell me what to do. Go back to your computer. We're going to modify the function together, create what we call a reality anchor. It will lock you into one version, the original, if we do this right. I ran back to my laptop. The code had changed again. Now there were comments in the margins I hadn't written, in handwriting that was mine but different. Some versions in English. Some in languages I didn't recognize but somehow understood. I see multiple versions of the code now. That means the overlap is accelerating. Start typing exactly what I tell you. Don't deviate, don't try to optimize. Every character matters. For the next 5 minutes, I typed as the voice dictated. Complex algorithms that seemed to bend mathematics itself, recursive loops that somehow avoided infinity by folding back on themselves. My phone was burning my ear now, and I could smell plastic melting. Almost done. Now, I need you to understand something. When you run this code, you'll experience all 17 versions simultaneously for about 3 seconds. You'll see how your life could have been, would have been, should have been. It will be overwhelming, but you must not stop the program. Can you do that? I don't have a choice, do I? There's always a choice. You could hang up, throw away the phone, and continue fragmenting. Some people prefer it, living all possible lives instead of just one. No, I want my life back. My real life. Then run the code. I hit execute. The world exploded into fragments. I was married with 3 kids. I was alone. I was dead. I was rich. I was homeless. I was a teacher, a criminal, a hero, a nobody. 17 lives crashed through my consciousness at once. I saw myself making different choices at every crucial moment. Taking that job, not taking it, saying yes, saying no, turning left, turning right. I experienced 17 first kisses, 17 heartbreaks, 17 versions of this very moment. Then, silence. I was sitting at my computer. My phone was a melted mass of plastic and metal on my desk. The code on my screen was normal, my banking app, nothing unusual. The photos on my shelf showed only memories I recognized. In the mirror, I saw only myself. But then I noticed something that made my blood freeze. On my desk, next to the melted phone, was a notepad. Written in my handwriting were the words, "The collapse failed. This is version 12. The original is gone. Do not attempt contact again." I looked at my hands. There was a pale line on my ring finger where a wedding band might have been. I checked my contacts. There were numbers I didn't recognize, names that felt familiar but meant nothing to me. My laptop pinged. A new email from an address that was just 17 random digits. "Simon, this is you. Version 1. I'm trapped in the void between realities." The team lied. There was no emergency response team. It was me, trying to pull myself back together. But I chose wrong. You're living my life now. I'm sorry. Whatever you do, don't write any more recursive functions. And Simon, check your voicemail. I picked up my landline. When did I get a landline? And dialed voicemail. 17 messages, all from the same impossible number, all timestamped from dates that haven't happened yet. The first message played, "Simon, it's you. Version 18 just manifested. Tomorrow, you're going to get a call from an impossible number. Don't answer it. Please, God, don't answer it." But I already had. I looked at the calendar. It was Thursday. It had been Friday when I answered the call. The phone rang again, the landline this time. The caller ID showed 17 digits, shifting and rearranging. I answered, because I already knew I would. I already had. I always do. "Is this Simon Hendricks?" My own voice asked. "Yes," I replied, knowing exactly what came next, trapped in a loop I'd created, destroyed, and become. "Mr. Hendricks, I need you to listen very carefully and not hang up. Your reality is experiencing a temporal disruption. This call is your only anchor point." The recursive function had worked perfectly. I was the function now, calling myself, collapsing myself, forever executing a program that never ends, just loops back to the beginning. Somewhere, in version 1 or version 17 or version infinity, the real Simon Hendricks is trying to debug his code, not knowing that he's about to answer a call from a number that shouldn't exist. And I'll keep calling until one of us gets it right.